Long ago, before the first light touched the earth, the world was a place of shadows and silence. The great deserts stretched endlessly, and the mountains stood like silent guardians. In this ancient time, the people of the Atacama Desert spoke of a powerful force that shaped the land, the giant hands that rose from the earth itself. These hands, they said, were the tools of the gods, the creators of all things. The story begins with the first people, who walked the dry valleys and climbed the rocky hills. They had no homes, no fire, and no names for the stars above. They lived in darkness, guided only by the whispers of the wind. But one night, as they slept beneath the cold sky, the earth trembled. A deep sound like thunder from below shook the ground. The people woke in fear, clutching one another as the land split open. From the cracks in the earth, two massive hands emerged, fingers stretching toward the heavens. The hands were made of stone, weathered by time, yet strong as the bones of the world. The people watched in awe as the hands moved, shaping the earth like clay. With slow, deliberate motions, the fingers carved rivers where there had been none. They pushed the mountains higher and dug valleys deeper. The people understood then that these hands were not of this world. They were the hands of the creators, the ones who had shaped the earth long before humans walked upon it. The oldest of the tribe, a woman with eyes as deep as the night, stepped forward. She raised her voice to the hands and asked, "Why have you come back to us?" The hands did not speak, but their movements answered her. One hand pointed to the sky, and as the people looked up, they saw the first light of dawn breaking over the horizon. The sun, golden and warm, rose for the first time. The other hand swept across the land, and where its shadow fell, green plants sprouted from the dry earth. The people understood then that the hands were not just shaping the land, they were giving life. The giant hands worked for days and nights, never resting. They filled the rivers with water, planted forests where the desert had been, and placed animals upon the earth. When their work was done, the hands paused. The people waited, wondering what would happen next. Then, with one final motion, the hands pressed their palms together as if in prayer. A great wind rushed over the land, and the hands slowly sank back into the earth, leaving only silence behind. But the people knew they had not been abandoned. The hands had left something behind, knowledge. The oldest woman of the tribe took a sharp stone and carved the story of the hands into the rocks. She told the people that the hands would return one day, when the world needed to be shaped again. Until then, it was their duty to remember. Generations passed, and the story of the giant hands lived on. The people of the Atacama built their homes near the great carvings, always watching the earth for signs of movement. They told their children of the night the hands rose from the ground, of how the world was made new. Some even claimed to have seen the hands in their dreams, still working, still shaping the unseen corners of the world. Other tribes, those who lived beyond the desert, had their own stories of creation. Some spoke of a great serpent that coiled around the earth and breathed life into it. Others told of a bird whose wings carried the sun across the sky. But the people of the Atacama knew the truth. Creation was not the work of one being, but many. The hands were just one part of a greater story, a story written in stone and whispered by the wind. As time went on, the carvings of the hands faded, worn by wind and rain. But the story did not die. It traveled across the land, carried by traders and storytellers. Some said the hands were buried deep beneath the desert, waiting. Others believed they had never left, that even now their fingers moved beneath the earth, shaping the unseen. And so, when the people of the Atacama look at the vast desert, the towering rocks and the endless sky, they remember. They remember the night the earth moved, the night the world was made new. They remember the giant hands of the creators, and they know the story is not over. The hands will rise again. This is the story carved in stone. This is the story of the beginning, And perhaps one day it will be the story of a new world.